And hello, everybody. How we doing today? Randy Reed here for Dojo Nation and another Tuesday 10-minute Tuesday tip. The little thing we're doing here. So today, what we're going to talk a little bit about is demographics. And in my position here at Dojo Nation, I talk to a lot of school owners. Kind of what I do is sit around and chew the fat with school owners during the week. And I'm always amazed at the number of school owners who don't know what their demographics are. And I'll ask them, what some don't, hell, some of them don't even know the population of their city. If you would go to buy any of the major franchises, let's say you were going to buy McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or whatever it is, one of the first things they're going to require, or they're going to do it for you one way or another, they'll call it a demographic survey to get the profiles of where you want to go. And there's criteria that must be met in order for that to, for you to be able to purchase a franchise and put it in there. We don't do much of that in our martial arts community. It seems like a fair number of us open a school because it just happens to be in the city we live in, or we took a school over from our instructor, or it really wasn't as thought out a process as a lot of businesses are. And you don't hear a lot about us instructor leaving his town and going to open up another town. It happens, but it's not the norm. So as we look into the demographics, step one, it's really important to know what we're dealing with. We can't make any decisions if we don't know what we're making, what we have going on. Water. It's Tuesday. Years ago, I had a really great opportunity to spend a couple of weeks with a really smart guy out on the West Coast up in Seattle. And Randy Holman is his name. Really sharp guy, and he had an still does, an incredibly successful school, Karate West, and he was running right around 1,000 students and just smoking, just great numbers, and he had really good demographics. And I was talking to him about it, and he said, yeah, people say the only reason my school is successful is because I opened it up in a place with great demographics. And he said, well, what was I supposed to do? Go open it up in a place with crappy demographics just to see if it would work or not? I don't care if you're going to if you open up a Lamborghini dealership in Dubuque, Iowa, I don't care if you sell them for half price. I don't know if there's any three people together that can afford a Lamborghini in Dubuque, Iowa. That's not the market. That's not where they go. You stick them out in Beverly Hills, or you put them in Mendocino, California, or New York City, where people have that kind of, or Tampa Bay, Florida, where my friend Dwayne Spires has one. So I think he got it down there. So the point being, you've got to match up what you're doing. There's that age-old question that's always out there. How much should we charge for martial arts lessons? Well, you've got to know your demographics before you can make that statement. We'll get into it on another section. We'll get into pricing. But if you don't know what you're dealing with, then when I say you don't know what you're dealing with, first, number of people, household income, because your household income is going to tell you what you've got the potential for discretionary income. If you have a household income of $30,000, it's going to be pretty hard to get discretionary income out there that can be for something like martial arts lessons. So knowing what you're dealing with is extremely important. We had a guy up in Wisconsin years ago, and he got in with some guru, and the guru said, I don't care where you live, you have to charge $250 a month for karate lessons. So he raised his prices, doubled them up to $250. He did, I think, about 20-some introductory lessons that month that didn't sign up one single person, not one. When 0 and 20, 0 and 25, whatever it was, and I thought, geez, you're after 0 and 5 or 0 and 10, you might want to have made some adjustments there. just because someone tells you that it can be done, can't be done. We had a guy years ago that when we talk about demographics, he would say, well, the price of a Big Mac in your town is the same as a Big Mac in my town. I said, well, that's very true, but the price of a house in your town and the price of a house in my town are very, very different. You know, the median household or the median price of a house in San Francisco is $1.5 million. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's $350,000. Massive differences in things. So putting all these demographic pieces together is going to tell you what you got. Now, what if you don't have demographics that are going to really match up? Don't have enough population, or they don't have enough money. When they have some options, you're going to have to run a real lean, very inexpensive, or very low overhead operation, because you're not going to be able to charge much, or pack it up, head somewhere where they do have the demographics that work for you. You know, we opened a school many years ago, at least 30 years ago, maybe longer, in a little bitty town north of Madison, Wisconsin. And we were upstairs. The thing was nice size, it was like 3,000 square feet, nice looking school. We only taught a couple nights a week. We ended up with about 80 students. I think they were paying $80 a month at that time, whatever it was. So the school was doing, not all that much money, $6,000, $7,000 a month. And I had a friend say, well, you're never going to make it at that. Well, then I mentioned to him, well, our rent includes our electricity, our heat, air conditioning. We only write one check, and the amount on that check is $150 a month. So now, we're working 2 nights a week and netting $6,000 a month. All of a sudden, that school is viable. That isn't the norm, but that's how a school can work in a lower demographic area financially. And I think the whole area, the town was maybe, I don't think it's 10,000 people. So they can be done. There's a school outside of Madison, Wisconsin, that's 9,000 people that has 100 kids in their after school program. So there's ways to do it, but to make those decisions, first you need to know your demographics and what you're dealing with. So I would suggest you get out there. I think there's a Info USA, or if you just Google demographic profiles, and you can also get a pretty good one off of Whitaker. What was it? Wikipedia, whatever the thing is up there. They've got them down. So take a good look at what you got. When you're having discussions with your friends, you can do comparisons. You can know what you're dealing with. And I suggest you have that in your bucket of knowledge for your school. Randy Reed, 10-minute Tuesday tip, over and out.